So I am really excited to have you guys on tonight. We have Caitlin and Krista. I know a lot of you guys probably know them. A lot of you guys probably do not. And we're gonna learn today. We're just so excited. And so we have talked earlier about what we want to go over. We have a, we have a plan what we want to go over tonight. A lot of helpful information if you're brand new or if you're just looking for that, extra information. So grab a pen and paper. We're gonna spend the first couple minutes just sharing our stories. I think that just hearing where, when you look at someone successful in this business, it's so easy to like have that. I just remember being so like, oh, these people just like had it easy, or they probably just like walked into it. And what you'll find is you hear different stories from top leaders is we really all started at square one, where some of you guys may be right now. And I promise you there is no difference in any of us than there is in you. You already have what you already have what it takes in you. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what your background is. You already have oh my gosh, why can't I say that? You already have what you need in you to be successful. Gosh, okay. So let's just get started. I'm going to keep mine very short because I want you guys to hear from them. I'll just quickly give you an intro. My name is Jackie. I'm one of your uplines in this business. I'm a presidential. And you guys, if I took you back 3 years ago, I'm going to keep this like 2 minutes short. But if I took you back 3 years ago, my life was crazy. I was working 60 hours a week. My fiance was working at the railway. He was gone over 300 hours a month. I was a new mom, and I had watched somebody build this business online for 3 years. And I was that person that would say she was going to, sign up on Friday, would never sign up, like follow up, drop off the face of the earth. That was me for 3 years watching somebody do this. And I always told myself I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be successful. I talked myself out of it before I ever got started, even though we were struggling so bad. We just got comfortable being uncomfortable. We thought it was normal that like we were working so much, never seeing each other, to always be broke. I remember going into my car place where I get your car, getting your car serviced for an oil change, and like praying that it was nothing more than an oil change, which it always is, which makes me think that maybe they're not telling the truth. But I was like, this just set me back. And I remember thinking like, there has got to be more to life than this. And so we joined this business. When I joined, I told myself I am not going to waste my own time and money. I stopped looking for people that said I would not be able to be successful. And I stayed very plugged in to things just like this on a regular basis. And 5 months into this business, very hard work for 5 months, as I was working full time, as I was a new mom. And I say this because you may feel like you're busy right now. We're all busy, but I knew that I wasn't going to let my reason why I needed this be my excuse. And I found little pockets of my day to work this business. I got up early. I stayed up later. We're going to be very transparent with you guys here tonight. We don't want to like give you this is going to be easy and you're going to just maybe be a millionaire. Anything that's worth having is going to take work, but we want to give you a path to that because truly anybody can do this. 5 months in, we replaced both our incomes. I came home to be a full-time mom. You guys, that changed my life. That was priceless. I cannot put a price on that. Sonny, your hair is looking great, and I love your braids. And I saw you down there. I always want that hair. You guys, a year and a half into this business, we were able to bring home Mike from the railway. The income from this business replaced his full income. And now 3 years in, it's just been incredible what we've been able to do. Like, I'm not going to go into this because I want to get into the training, but just know this truly is the vehicle to change what you are not happy with in your life right now, whether that's money, finances, time you have with your family, anything. Like this really truly is the vehicle. And I'm just so happy that I stayed plugged into things like this and stayed fired up to be able to, be where we are today and just lead one, help lead one of the fastest growing teams. So we're excited for this year. Okay, let's jump in. Let's go with Krista. Krista, do you mind just sharing a little bit of your story?
Hey, am I on mute? There we go. Hey, my name is Krista Santos, and I'm a triple diamond. And I have been in, my 2-year anniversary will be February 21st. Holy moly. I'm so excited about that. But yeah, the day that you sign up, like it's like kind of like your birthday, like you'll just remember that day. When I got started, oh gosh. Of course my family's going to go crazy right now. Life, this is just how it is. But my child decides to drive a car right now. Isn't he in bed? Sorry. So anyways, I was actually following Jackie on social media, and for 9 months I watched her posting, you guys. This is just something super like real about this. I watched her post for 9 months and I knew Jackie. Okay. Liked and trusted her. And I watched her for 9 months until I got to the place in my personal story where I needed something and I reached out to her and I needed to change. Like I was 60 pounds overweight. I had just really struggled after I had my son, and I just couldn't kind of, I don't know, snap out of it. It was just really hard. And I was like, hey, does this stuff actually work? And so I ordered a cleanse. And then very shortly after that, I actually, even though I didn't have the money, ordered the triple threat. And at the time that was greens and fat fighters and thermofit. It wasn't even called thermofite yet. I think it was thermofit. And in 3 months, I lost 30 pounds. And I was like, hey, are you actually making money at this? And I reached out to her again. And this is the like super interesting part, actually, Jackie, when you were sharing, because I know you were like at that point where you were at, and maybe this is just because you knew me, but I realized when you were talking, I was like, you know, I remember feeling like, well, isn't she going to sign me up today? Because it was almost like you took it away. You were like, well, I'm not sure she's ready yet. Like it was like this back and forth thing. And I was like, well, I thought I was signing up I guess I'll sign up tomorrow. But so funny just because, again, she's just like, so like there was no pressure. She definitely made me feel that she didn't need me to join her business for her to be successful. And I just want to point that out because that's a really important thing. In no way did I feel like she needed me. She was there to be a mentor to me and to coach me. And that's exactly what she did. So when I started, I was really excited because I love the products. They're amazing. And if you've just gotten your kit and you haven't tried the products yet, you guys, these are some of the best products I've ever used in my life. So like get in them, find what you love and go with it. You don't have to use all 50 of our amazing products, but over time you definitely will because they're all amazing. But actually obsessed here. But like seriously, like you got the coffee, you got the collagen, like you have your hands on such good stuff. And honestly, the nutrition in the greens will actually change who you are and what you can do with your life. Like my health has changed so much. So I lost 60 pounds using the product. So obviously a fan. But you know, more than that, you know, in 3 months I was able to, did I just do that? I was able to get to Diamond, and that was like, I started thinking if I can make a couple $100 extra that will keep me able to be home with my son and not have to get a job. My plan up to that point was like, okay, am I gonna have to get like a night shift job at like a 24-hour Starbucks or something so that I can work all night and my son doesn't know that I'm not here? Because I mean, we took 11 years to get pregnant and he is like our miracle, and I did not want to give up a single day with him. So I was willing to sacrifice not sleeping at night and to doing whatever it took to manage that. And so I just applied that work ethic to my business. And so Jackie said, show up to go up, get on every Zoom, learn YouTube, listen to the trainings. That's what I did, right? It was like, okay, I'm going to treat this like my business and I'm going to get to learn things. And like when I started, I had a very small network. And so I learned to grow it. When I started, you know, I didn't know how to do a lot of things on social media. And I like a lot. Okay. And I learned like literally everything. I wasn't even active on Facebook before I started my business, really. Like I had friends on there. I had like about 100 friends, but it was kind of like when I started posting for the business, it was like, what? Krista's actually on social media? What's happening over there? You know? And so I was really self-conscious about it and really nervous about it because I was like, this is way out of the norm. And at the time we were like using the like post a lot rule. I don't even know. It was like 333. I was posting like many times a day. This was before there was stories. It was like, I was like on there posting a ton because that's what I needed to do for my business. But definitely I felt self-conscious. Definitely I was like, what is this? But very quickly I learned, and I just kept learning things, and I kept on applying those things. And I learned, you know, no doesn't mean no. No means actually not yet. And I learned to kind of come through those obstacles and how to set myself up each day. So I don't know, Jackie, sorry. I'm like, I feel like.
No, I'm like, I was just recording you. Sorry. So I was like off it. I was just like zooming and recording you.
I don't know if this is helpful for me.
Maybe just share, like, I think what this business has allowed you to do in the last little bit has been really awesome.
Yeah. So my husband is now home full time. This past summer, we were able to bring him home full time. Whew. And now it's been like 8 months that he hasn't gone into a regular job. We're literally a full time family. And it's amazing because now the groundwork that we're able to lay as a couple doing this business together, um, you know, we're working on ambassador this year, which last year was not even on my radar. When I started, you guys, when I hit diamond was like the biggest dream I could imagine. Like I didn't even pay attention to the ranks past diamond. I was like, those are for super people or for magical unicorns or for people who were born like with really wealthy parents and they of course deserve that kind of money. Like that's kind of was my mindset, honestly. I was like, I wanted to make a couple hundred extra dollars and I wanted to be able to stay home with my son. That was all I wanted. When I got to diamond, I was so happy there. It felt like I won a lottery ticket, even though I had worked very hard for it. But the part that felt like winning to me, you guys, wasn't because I didn't earn it or work for it. It felt like winning to me because I hadn't left my son's side to do it. So the sacrifices that I had made were totally to me, the value of what I had gotten was so much greater. And that's why it felt like winning a lottery ticket. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I just wish to be diamond and voila, here I am. I was like, no, I worked really hard to get to diamond in that amount of time. But being there, I was so grateful and I was so thankful. I didn't see past that. So until I went to a live event. And if you have an opportunity to get a conference ticket, you guys still get to conference. Like it literally, it will change your life. Every event I've gone to has changed my mindset and who I'm able to show up in my life as, and my goals and my dreams. And I've just become because of those events. And
It's so good.
So yeah, sorry, my husband's home full time. We spent a month in Hawaii. We have gone to Florida multiple times. What else have we done? We get to homeschool our son together. That means my husband teaches math. Thank you, Jesus. Like there's so many good things. Let's not forget the math because I should not be teaching math to anyone. Okay. But yeah, it's like literally the most amazing thing. And so even on your worst day in this business, it's better than your best day at a job. And I will say to you, your 5 minutes of the day, I just got off my team Zoom, and this is one of the things I said to them is, your first 5 minutes dictate the rest of your day, and be intentional. If you want to go up in this business, you have to be so intentional about developing your mindset. 80% of this business is your mindset. It's what you believe about yourself. And my belief in who I am and who I am showing up in my life as has grown and developed 1% every single day since I started this business. And that 1%, 365% in a year, right? There's triple diamond. 365% this year is going to get me to ambassador. I'm not there yet, but by the end of this year, gosh darn it, I will be, because I'm putting in the work and I'm becoming that person. So that is like, you can't shortcut that. There's a process to becoming the person that you want to be. It's when you have the mindset of thinking like, okay, I want to have this paycheck. Like everybody wants an ambassador paycheck, but do they want to do the work to get there? Are they willing to be the person that's responsible to be that, to have that kind of paycheck, right? And so becoming that. And so don't let it overwhelm you thinking like, well, no, oh my gosh, I'm not worthy, I can't do it. No, you can. It's 1% a day. It's 1% a day. I just want everybody to read this book. If you are brand new, you need to read this book. 3 feet from gold, 3 feet from gold. Sorry, that's my story.
And Krista had brought up that book before. So if you guys are new, download the app called Audible. You get a free trial with it and you get a free book every month. I think after that it's like $13 a month, but truly like listening to a book too, or reading a book, like this is going to help you so much. And just like what Krista touched on before we go over to Caitlin, mindset is so big in this business. And when you start, I find not just when you start, but throughout your business, you start kind of talking yourself out of it because you're pushing yourself into a new level, like a different comfort zone. You're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Don't confuse the feeling of something making you nervous or like anxious or like, as a bad thing. We're so taught to like think that if we're anxious, it's bad. But if you're anxious starting this business, transfer it to be excitement, because you're not supposed to be comfortable with your new level of growth. Like, the new life that you guys want, that you've come here for, is going to cost you some habits of your old one. And that mindset is going to help you so much. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Krista. Let's go to Caitlin. And then you guys, we have 4 topics we're going to go into. So I'm excited. I'm so pumped. Okay, Caitlin, let's hear it.
All right, so I'm Caitlin. I'm 24. I've been in the business for just over 2 years, and it's changed everything for my family. I joined when I unexpectedly got pregnant, and I was on maternity leave because I was already not making much money before. I was on low income, working for the government. James was going to school, so he had no money coming in. And so when we got maternity leave checks, it was literally nothing. I wasn't paying anything. Like, James's parents was paying our rent. I wasn't paying my bills. I couldn't afford my car, my phone bills, like anything. Like, I couldn't afford anything. And like, it was by far the lowest like I've ever been. And literally the same day I got my maternity leave check and was like bawling over it, I saw Jackie on Facebook post a picture of, she had this picture showing that she had got the diamond bonus and then the double diamond bonus, and added together it was like $30,000. And she was at home full time with her kid. And literally I messaged her and signed up on the spot, because that's like, I literally didn't care. I was like, this other mom is over here making a full-time income from home. Like, I didn't ask how we got paid. I didn't ask like what the products were. I didn't ask anything. Like, I didn't even know it was residual income. Like, but I honestly just said to myself, like, I'm going to put it on my credit card. And if I can pay even one bill with this, like, that's all that matters, because I literally was paying nothing. And I was like so heartbroken because I couldn't afford to be a mom. Like, it was brutal. And so I came into this like just from day one copying Jackie and what I saw other people doing that was working. I followed all the top leaders that were inspiring me, and I would just like take their posts and just like tweak it to fit me. And I was telling my story and being so vulnerable from day one. And I think that's a huge part of why I found success so fast, was because I never sugarcoated it to my friends and followers. And as much as it like killed me to be honest with them about it, I right from day one was telling them, look, I'm on social assistance. I don't have money. This is why I'm doing this. Like, I'm not paying my rent right now. And that's why people trusted me. And so I just put that in there, because it honestly is so important to not like, don't pretend you're somewhere where you're not in life. Like, appreciate your journey, but use that as motivation to get to where you need to be. That is when people are going to see you being real and being a person, not just trying to make a sale. Like, you're actually showing why you're doing this. And through all of that and just pushing so hard and knowing I had bills to pay, we did it. We got a $5,000 bonus in month 4, and then we got another $5,000 bonus the month after when I went diamond. And it was month 8 when I went double diamond and got James's account to diamond. So in that 1 month, it was over $43,000 in bonuses, which is a huge number. And it was probably one of the most overwhelming days of my life, but in the best way, because we had seen, like, we knew that promotion was coming, right? Because I had been busting my butt, like working so hard, and we knew I was going to promote that month. And in that month, we had started like looking at houses, just like, at first it was for fun. We were, like, I would cry over it while looking at them. So I was like, we can't afford this. Like, I don't know when we're going to get a house. Like, that was actually our biggest struggle, is we did not know when we were ever going to be able to afford a house or any sort of future. Like, we had nothing. And all of a sudden we like looked at them, and one day after we kind of like thought this promotion was coming, we were like, well, let's go like just look at it for fun. We're not going to buy it, but let's just go look at it. So we did. And then all of a sudden we got approved for a mortgage, and all of a sudden we're like, hey, well, let's just put an offer in. It's not going to go through, but we're going to try it. And it did. And then the day we promoted and we found out we were earning that bonus, we're like, all right, we're doing it. And we ended up moving into our house the exact same day that I went double diamond. And so that night, while I was laying in a air mattress in our new house, I sent a message to my boss, and I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back after maternity leave. Like we just got a freaking house because of this business. I'm not going anywhere. And that day changed everything, not only just for our whole future, but for my business as well, because it showed me what this business can actually do, what kind of money you can really make in it. Like, you can make unreal money. You just have to actually feel like you have to know you deserve it and be willing to put the work in to get there. And when I saw that, it changed everything. And from there on, like, I just kept going. Like, I have never slowed down. We went triple diamond, and then on James's 1-year anniversary, I got his account to triple diamond too. And so now we've earned over 150,000 in bonuses. We're pushing to be top 150 this year. Oh, it's crazy. It's changed absolutely everything. And now we have a huge savings account. We have a retirement fund, an education fund for Heidi. We're going to Australia for a few months, which is like insanely overwhelming because James's work came to him like literally less than a month ago and said to him, like, we have this opportunity for somebody to go work in Australia for a few months, and you're our top person right now. Do you want to go to Australia? And he came home, and that was it. Like, the reason I do this is to give my family the opportunities and the memories that a lot of other families can't have, right? It's like, I want to be able to go places and to work from my phone and to give Heidi like the life that like I always wanted to give my little girl. And so how do you say no to an opportunity like that when it's given to you? So we're going, and yeah, we're saving for a dream wedding and honeymoon this year. And like, it's literally the biggest year of our entire life. And as overwhelming as it is, it's like the best feeling in the world, because not a single one of these things that is happening this year would have happened without this business. Like, we wouldn't be able to afford a wedding. We wouldn't be going on a honeymoon. We wouldn't be going to Australia. I wouldn't even be at home right now. Like, yeah, so it's definitely changed everything for us.
I love that. You guys, it's crazy because even, I've like watched both of their businesses grow, and like, it's just been crazy. Like, I feel like we're kind of all on the same path, that I've literally watched Krista and Caitlin from day one to now. And it's like the only thing that they have, not the only thing, but like, you guys, they're just willing to work really hard. Like, I've watched them work so hard for the last 1.5 2 years. And I want you guys to really think about that. Like, when you hear their short stories summed up in 10 minutes before we get into this, next part here, it sounds so like easy. Like, oh yeah, I just like came to It Works and like made a bunch of money, bought a house. No. They were grinding. They were grinding when nobody was clapping for them. They were grinding when the results were not there. They were grinding when they did not feel like it. And so keep that in mind as you build this business. Anything that's worth having is going to be work. Anything that's worth having is going to take you sacrificing, your time, your willingness to learn. Keep that in mind, okay? There's no difference between me, Krista, you, or Caitlin, anybody that you see. It's just, are you willing to put the work in? So as we go into the training, let's keep that in mind. Super excited for 2020, by the way, because I feel like you're just going to both go ambassador, and then I'm going to have to go streaking in front of All of It Works when you guys get up there and do your speech, and nobody wants to see that. Okay, so we have our list that we want to go over. So I quickly want to take a couple minutes and explain what we do. For those of you guys that are brand new, I want to give you a perspective on what we do. So It Works Global, billion-dollar brand, been around for 20 years. Featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, partnered with celebrities now, like Dr. Nasa from Botched. Very reputable company, okay? Instead of this company spending money on things like flyers, newspaper ads, commercials, buying storefronts, paying people to ring through their product, think about all the budget that goes into typical businesses' way of advertising. What we do as a company is they say, I don't want to do that. Let's cut that budget out, and we're going to put it into regular people, and we're just going to pay through word of mouth advertising. And so almost like the same business model as, say, Uber, we have the business that branches off individual people, right? Individual Uber drivers, right? Everyone's following. We're going to put the money in them. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut out the middleman, and the person that opens their store the most consistently wins. And so as you join this business, I want you to think about, you are now a franchise, and I say franchise in quotes because a franchise without all the costs of a franchise, for this well-established company that's been around for a long time. So as we come in, you have to ask yourself, how do you want to work your business? One, do you want to do parties, vendor events, face-to-face, pop-up shops, things like that? Which you can totally do. It's a great way to build your business. I've dipped my toes in that before. But tonight, we're going to focus on social media. We are a social media team. We build quickly and fast on social media. And so if that's the route that you want to go, I want you to understand that your job now, if you're running on social media, is to open your business every day. You know, just like a normal business, if you bought a storefront business, a hair salon down the street, I mean, you're going to open that up every day, regardless of if anybody comes in your first day. You're going to go down, you're going to open the doors, you're going to stand in there, you're going to do your job until it's time to close, right? Like, you're going to open your business every day. I want you guys to think about this as the same. Except now, instead of dealing with the physical location where you have to be there every single day, instead of only dealing with the people local to you, you get to use your social media, a free platform, to reach people all over the world. Meaning that if you live in a small town, if you have friends and family that don't want to support you, mine did not want to support me right away. If you live, you know, if you're traveling all over, maybe you're stationed in the military, like whatever you've got going on, you can work this business from your phone. But in order for you to have success in it, you have to be consistent in opening it, just like you would a regular business. People will do business and join with people they know, like, and trust. And if you are growing this business in a network of new people, your consistency is going to reaffirm your message of knowing, liking, and trusting one another. Now, can you guys put in the comments how long you had to watch somebody be consistent for before you joined them? So I was 3 years. Okay. So, okay. So that's how that's like what we do. So we own our online franchise. Okay. 2 years, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Okay. So I want you guys to realize before we go into this, as you start building this, okay, you're going to start doing the things that we're going to go over tonight. We're going to start doing the things. Okay, that means that as you start doing these, you may not have an immediate bite. Okay, I had to do these things every day for almost 30 days before I had somebody say, I want in. Okay, and where people go wrong in this industry, I'm going to be very just like straight up with you. And I know Caitlin and Krista would say this exact same thing. Where people go wrong, where you find some people having success and some not, the ones that are not, that have not had success, they do one of two things. They get started and then they quit, or then they get started and then they quit, and then they get started again a week later when they realize I need it, and then they quit, and then their dog is sick so they don't do it for 2 weeks, and then they quit, and then they come back and they're like, oh, actually it works, is the best thing ever. By this point, your audience is not, you know, sold on that you're a reputable business, because reputable business is open, right? Does this make sense? I feel like it's so simple, but like I had to have someone like pound this in my head when I started, because I was like, okay, this means that we're not going to be working based on how we're feeling. We're going to be working based on our goals. Because if we're working based on how we're feeling, I would have given up on my first $30 check. You know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy. And so what I want you guys to do right now is I want you to ask yourself, what amount of money from this is going to change your life? Is it 500? Is it 2,000? Is it 5,000? What is going to change your life? What is it going to do for you? When I thought about making $500 a month, I could relate that to being at home with my kid and not having to put him in daycare, saving the cost on, you know, working full time and paying a daycare and being home with him. That $500 would bridge the gap. And when I felt like giving up, when I felt like quitting, when I felt like someone told me no, all I had to do was think about not just the $500, but why that $500 was like so impactful to me. And that's what fires me to never quit. You guys, as somebody that's, you know, like I do well in this company, I have days where I'm like, man, I don't want to do this, because not every business is like, not every day is just rainbow and butterflies. Again, anything that's worth having is never going to be easy, but you're pushing through these things based on your goal, not based on your feelings. Okay. So the first goal in this business, and I'm going to bounce back to Caitlin and Krista here. The first goal in this business, you guys, is to get your 4 loyal customers. Who is still working towards their first 4 loyal customers? Put number 1 in the chat. Now, quickly, we're going to go over what a loyal customer is. And then Krista, maybe we can each just give a couple tips, short tips of how we can get these. So we have 2 types of customers. Okay. Retail, loyal customer, retail and loyal. Retail is when you're purchasing full price, one time, that's it. Okay, like they're just buying one time, full price, that's it, they're up. Next way is a loyal customer. And what a loyal customer is somebody that agrees to try one product a month for 3 months. They can switch the product, skip a month, you know, full flexibility, no minimum order. And by doing that, they get 40% off everything. And they keep that 40% off for life, and there's no commitment after that 3 months. When you get these first 4 loyal customers, you're going to get your first bonus, and you're going to be qualified for all the bonuses that we have available. We have a lot of bonuses coming out at the end of the month that you guys will be eligible for. Plus, you're going to get those first 4, which is going to get you $100 in free product credit. Plus, it's going to be building your residual commission. So, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Sorry. Krista, can you, like, just for a tip that if someone's coming in to get their first 4, if you had to go back and start, what would you do to get these first 4 customers?
So I actually, number one, this totally goes with what Jackie was saying with, putting that post up that's like putting up your open sign. I want you to like actually picture it for yourself. If you owned a physical business, so say you just bought into, I don't know, some sort of franchise, and you're sitting there, you're like turned on the light and you're like, people are not flooding into my store. Gee, like, okay, you're like, okay, I got a $3,000 a month lease. I got to pay. I got the light bill coming. I got the phone bill. I've invested a lot here. What the heck am I going to do to drive traffic into my store? Okay. So again, comes to having that business mindset. So the first thing you're going to do as a business owner is you're going to go and talk to people, because you're going to go knock on the door. So if you're in like a strip mall, you're like, hey, I'm the new Subway franchise, and everybody else is still going across the street to McDonald's for lunch, and you're like, okay, I'm going to make up some sandwiches. I'm going to go around and like tour people and be like, hey, did you know Subway's here? Hey, did you know Subway's here? Okay, so basically that's what you're going to do to like the people that are the closest to you, right? Because these, like in the strip mall, you're like, who's all the people that are going for lunch here? It's all the business owners that are looking for something to eat, right? So you're like, okay, who are the people that if I was like in need, or I like broke my leg and I'm like, can somebody come watch my kid or help me out for 2 hours, or like chicken soup for the soul people, right? Like people who are gonna, care about you. Those are the first people I'm going to be like, hey, I don't know if you saw this because I put up my open sign. I don't know if you noticed, but I started a new business. And then I'm going to offer them some choices and be like, hey, I have some discount spots that I can share with you. Would any of these interest you? And I'm going to tell them about the last year. I'm going to tell them if they will ask if they want to grow their hair or do a cleanse, or like if they want to do fat burning skinny coffee, right? And then like I say, like, and I'm new, like, so I know that I can say whatever to you and mess it up, and you're not gonna like hate me. So like, just be yourself, be relatable, but get out there, because this is like your first 4 LCs, your first 4 loyal customers is like you keeping the lights on in your business. You're like, this is the win you need. Like you just started a business. You want to pay your lease this month, right? So you're like, okay, I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to get out there and do this. I'm driving this business forward. So that's like the first thing. And even if they say no, this is the great thing. Like your business doesn't hinge on whether your people say yes or no. You're literally, when you message them, when you talk to them, you're telling them I'm open for business. Really, you're getting their attention. And now they're going to be following you. Now they're going to pay attention to what you're posting. Now, when they say no to you, you're like ready with an answer, and you're like, hey, I totally understand. That's totally fine. Because for whatever reason, their no means not yet. They either don't see the value in what you're doing yet, they don't understand it, or they're like, I don't need no skinny, I don't know what she's talking about. Then they're going to watch you, right? But when they say no, you say, that's totally good. I totally understand. You can still support me by sharing a post for me. And as a huge thank you, I'll enter you into the cash draw we're doing. And then you get access to their network. So anyway, sorry, that's into host to post, but that's kind of how I would coach to start looking for those first 4 loyal customers right out of the gate. Because Caitlin, do you want to answer anything else about that?
Yeah, I can add to that. So definitely, and I'll add as well, like my first 4 customers was literally like my mom, my sister, my grandma, and my cousin. Like I went right to my family. And a lot of people, when they come into this, they think that like they're going to annoy people, but honestly, it's the complete opposite. Whereas if you come into this and you're just excited right from the start, that is when people are going to actually care what you're doing, rather than you trying to like shy off and like just wait for somebody to like come to you, or like whatever it is, you don't want to be like confrontational or whatever. They're actually going to push way farther away if you just be shy and awkward about it, because they're going to go to you if you're excited. And if you're just like ready to go saying like, this is what I got, like I'm going to change my life with this. And as long as you know what you're doing, then other people will believe in you. But if you just like don't believe in yourself and you just don't want to like put yourself out there, people sense that, and they're not going to order from you then. So you just have to be excited and being consistent, because honestly, what a lot of people do, and it sounds bad, but it's the truth. People want you to fail. They will only come to you or be ready to order from you or whatever it is. They will not commit until they know that you're serious about what you're doing. So if you all of a sudden like do your starting post and then you just like stop and you don't post for another few weeks, it's a good chance you lost a good amount of people because you're already showing them that you're not serious about what you're doing. So you just got to run into it and just be so excited, and don't be afraid to share what you have, because that's the only way people are going to feel that excitement from you, is if it's literally like coming off of you, because otherwise your shyness about it is just going to go to them as well, and they're not going to be excited either.
So I feel like I keep interrupting you, but whenever you talk, I think I'm muted. I'm always like, yes. And I'm always like agreeing with you. And then everyone's like, whoa, sorry. Okay. I love what you guys just said. I want to give you guys another perspective too, how I felt when I started. I made my first post. My friends and family legit mocked me. Okay. And you guys, like Caitlin said, it sounds so negative, but how many times do you see people start a business like this and they quit after a week? People are waiting for you to quit. People want to do business with people that are serious. Okay, that's like what it comes down to. And so when I started and I had watched somebody do this for so long, I said, if I do this, I am doing it. And so I strongly urge you, because your why is in front of you, like, don't allow yourself to have quitting on the table, which will therefore make success not an option. Not being successful and not an option. Did I say that right? You guys know what I'm saying. And so when I started and I said, I'm gonna post, and you guys, you know what? You're probably nervous about it. You probably are nervous to post. Okay, you're not gonna die, but remember, stepping into that next level of comfort, like, it's gonna be uncomfortable. You're stepping into this next, like, it's like a sign of growth. Like, I know when I was new in this business, listening to someone like Krista or Caitlin, I wanted what they had. But I wanted the freedom. I wanted the money. So I was like, you know what? As uncomfortable as this makes me, I'm just going to do it. And so I started posting very consistently, not spamming, but well, back then it was probably spamming, but don't spam. But like, I was consistent. I was open for business. And when my friends and family or people started to say things, my response was always, hey, I don't need you to order or support me. Like, it's all good. Like, I'm not doing it for my friends and family. You know what I mean? I'm never going to have a successful business just off my friends and family. So my mindset was like, I can actually just start with the other 7 billion people in the world. And when I was so consistent and grow my network and talking to new people and doing the things, and we built, quickly in a market I didn't know, a market of people I didn't know, then my friends and family started coming back. So don't feel like, oh, if my mom isn't going to support me, nobody will. They absolutely will. There are 7 billion people out there. And if you found value to join this business or try these products, I promise you there is somebody else out there that does as well. And what fired me up was coming on Zooms like this and thinking like, wow, so there are other people in this business that are really just having success on Instagram and Facebook. Like, they really don't have just 5 million friends that are all buying from them. And so when you realize that you can put yourself out of your comfort zone, and if your friends and family aren't jumping on it, that's okay. But in order for you to have that success in month 2, 3, 4, down the road, you got to have that momentum at the beginning. This business loves speed, and this business loves, people love doing business with people that are serious. And so I urge you guys to decide today, you are going to be consistent in your business to show people that you're serious, which in turn will get you results. One more tip I wanted to add on, you guys, is host to post. If you don't know what host to post is as a new distributor, I want you guys to type in on YouTube, Jackie Deering host to post. Okay. I know other leaders, there's a ton of them. I have a really short video that goes, over this. You guys, this is money for growing your business. This is a great way to expand your network and a great way to sign customers. Another tip I want to give you as well is, it's overwhelming coming to this new business and having 50 products. We don't think you should be talking about 50 products. It confuses your audience. So choose 3 to 5 that you're going to focus on, and you guys truly be consistent with them. Like, talk about them, talk about a cleanse in your story every day. What starts happening is people start seeing over and over and over again what you have. A really quick tip before we go on to the next thing, an interesting conversation I had with someone today. I was just in a meeting before this, and it was the business owner in town, and we were talking about just like advertising, how we advertise for a storefront business. And like, he was saying, a lot of businesses will open up a business and then do advertising for a month. They'll like pay for radio, and then after like 2 months, they'll quit the advertising because they don't have the finances for it, but then they sit back and wait for people to walk through their door. And in fact, for advertising, you have to be very repetitive with it. Like, you have to be repetitive and not spammy, but repetitive, meaning that, one day you may put a cleanse story up and it may not interest somebody. The next day you may talk about something and show before and after, and they may be like, oh man, I am bloated. Like, that is me, but they're busy and they're not looking at it. Meanwhile, you're sitting here thinking to yourself as an entrepreneur, oh, I'm doing all the things and they're not working. But what you truly don't know is that there are people watching you. And so it just really made me realize, like, this business is no different. In order to get, like, if you start as a little snow chip, this used to be my favorite thing, a little snow chip, you're a little ice cube, okay? Let's see a little ice cube over here. And you want to get into a snowball. You can't just like become a snowball. You got to roll into the snowball, right? You got to like have momentum. That sounds like a dumb analogy. You guys are probably like, what the heck? But seriously, like, you just got to like keep rolling it, and it just gets bigger. And that's what is important at the beginning of your business. Okay. So, do we have any more tips for signing loyal customers? Is there anything that you guys want to add on? We've talked about post to post. We talked about choosing 3 to 5. You're going to be consistent about them. Oh, one thing I do want to add on. I'm sorry, I'm going to add this in here. Sealing the deal. If you guys look this up on YouTube, it's by Jade Hooper. This business, that video changed my business, because what I found was I was saying too much when I was talking to potential customers. Can we do a quick role play here on, and then we can go add to something else, but let's just pretend that let's have a mock conversation with Krista. So I'm posting, sorry, I don't really tell anybody what we're ever going to do on these trainings. I just make it up as we go. I'm like, we're just going to do this. Okay. So I make a status about a cleanse. Okay. Krista comments on it or she likes it. Let's just go from here. Let's just do this quick.
Okay. I like your cleanse.
I like your cleanse. Okay.
I like your cleanse post, and then what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? I liked your cleanse post.
So I'm going to reach out to Krista, okay, and I'm going to say, I like your cleanse. I'm going to message her, and I'm going to say, I'm cracking up. Okay, I'm trying to get serious. I like your detox. Okay, so I'm going to reach out to her, and I'm going to be like, thank you. I'm going to be like, hey, Krista, thank you for the love of my post. So you're interested in some info on the cleanse? ? Okay. Krista's always going to say,
yeah.
Yes. What does it do? And then I'm going to go into a short description of what this does. Okay. So we have these in our team page under the announcements. You can just say, we have these all picked up. You can also just make it up from the website. It's going to have points on each product. Just put it into a sentence. So I would say something like, okay, awesome, Krista. So I'll tell you a little bit about the cleanse. It's 4 bottles over 2 days. You drink 1 before breakfast, 1 before dinner, eat really clean, drink lots of water. It's going to help you de-bloat, get rid of that brain fog. And most people lose 2 to 9 pounds, over the 2 days. See, very short, very condensed. I'm only answering what it does. And then I always answer with a question. How does that sound? Krista's going to say, good. And always they're going to say, how much does it cost? People want to know how much it costs. Here's where you always give 2 prices. And if you don't know where they live, you're going to say, hey, are you in Canada or the US? They're going to say, I'm in Canada. You're going to say, awesome. So normally the cleanse retails for, and then you're going to go on your website, found the pricing, $95, or you can get it for $54 on our free loyal customer program. How does that sound? What's a loyal customer is what she's going to say. You guys know what you're going to stick to the script, Krista. But she say, what's a loyal customer? And then you're just going to give what a loyal customer is. And I have a def here. I'll put it in the comments. But anyways, that video is going to go over this in more detail. But what you guys are going to find as you watch this is no matter what product we're talking about and who we're talking to, we are in control of this conversation. We're not just word vomiting on them. We're keeping it, to the point where if she's asking what the cleanse is, we're not talking to her about what the ingredients are. Like, you know what I mean? We're just answering what's asked. This keeps the conversation non-spammy, relatable, and keeps the person just not feeling like, wow, I'm just getting puked on with a bunch of sales stuff. Okay. So is there anything else you guys want to add for loyal customers? If you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat and we can answer them.
I don't know if we, oh, sorry. Do you want me to go? Okay. I don't know if we touched on like being a product of the product, which is another really huge thing. You should be using this, even just the little samples that come in your kit really are important for starting your business because you're showing people that you yourself are going to be using them. And even if it's just like, even if you're like starting off and you feel like you have no money, get yourself at least one product. Get one thing that you feel like you would want to use, because you cannot show people that they need this and that they would benefit from this if you yourself are not using the products. Like, people will only believe you if you yourself are excited about them and using them and showing your results. So even if it's like slowly working your way into getting a bunch of products, start with even just like a few samples and work your way up. But it's so important to have some of them in your house and be showing yourself using them throughout your journey.
And if you get your 4 loyal customers in 30 days, you get $100 US dollar in free products. So you can use that to use as well. Krista, what did you want to add?
I was just going to say, don't overthink the messaging. Because I think especially when you're new, you can overthink sending a message to like anybody that you know, and then you can also overthink answering. I remember being like, oh, but I know this person, so I have to respond like this. And I think like you prejudge or pre-analyze or overanalyze based on your relationship. But actually, in my experience, what I found was if I stuck to the script rather than how I thought I should relate to that person based on my relationship with them, was the difference between if they signed up as a customer or not. Because the sequence and the way things are worded in those scripts is actually just a human thing. It's not about if you know the person or not. And so by you interjecting like too much of your stuff or who you perceive them to be or what you think if you're putting on there that you think that it's too expensive for them, or you think you know their situation or whatever it is, girl, the person that you think maybe is like so broke and they shouldn't be buying this is like shopping at night on Amazon, and like wouldn't you rather that they shopped in your store and we're actually getting these amazing beneficial products for them, right? So they're spending that money regardless. So don't kind of like pre-decide on if they should be spending their money with you or not, but just also, hi sweetheart. Okay, sorry. I love you. Night. Okay. But just like, I guess, not over analyzing those conversations and putting too much into it, because literally it's like a human thing of like, here's the actual questions that we need answered in order to make a decision and in order to move forward in purchasing something. And it has nothing to do with actually their relationship. That's what I've experienced.
I love that. And one more tip before we go into the next thing I want to share is you guys stories. Like Instagram, Facebook stories are huge. Like I'm not going to put a bunch of products and testimonies all over my wall, but in my stories, 100%. And people are looking through those, and it's just another good way too. So as I'm going through here, guys, make sure you're writing like these little tips down. I'm trying to reference like where you can find stuff in the team page. So in our albums and our team page, if you flip through, there are a ton of stories that you can use. So put alarms up. We'll go over in what we do on a day-to-day base after, and we'll kind of give you a written list for the day. Okay, let's go into signing distributors. So you guys, we get paid to do 2 things: enroll customers, enroll distributors. And so as you start this business, your thought should be like, okay, how can I get better at like doing these 2 things? So we talked about customers. One tip I'm going to give you guys is still YouTube. Go on YouTube, look at, customer tips, post tips. YouTube is your best friend. Don't sit down and listen to it. Incorporate it in your life, just like people are doing. As people are cooking on here, like this is where it's at. This listening to this stuff as you're already doing other things, you're gonna fill your brain up with so much stuff. Okay, so signing distributors. I'll just start with a couple tips and then we'll go around again. So you guys, growing your team is one of the ways you're gonna make money in this business, obviously. Just to give you guys a perspective, for those of you guys that are red personalities, maybe you're here and you're just about, you want to make money, you're fueled by money. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think there's lots of things you can be fueled by. And I was hungry for money when I joined. I'm just going to tell you guys, I was hungry to learn how to make money and maximize it. And so one of the things I learned was, if I can learn how to bring people into this business and duplicate success, so I don't need to just like bring people in and leave them. I mean, bring people in, show them how to do this business, help them start their own business, you would get a weekly bonus paid by the company. So although the new distributor gets a bonus, the company is going to pay you a bonus for enrolling these distributors and helping them get started. And so I knew if I wanted to make $500 a month, if I could bring 5 people in a month, that was a guaranteed $500, and I was going to be able to help them and grow from there. And so I was learning how to attract people to my team. Here's the first tip I want to give you. Nobody owes you anything. And I know that's so harsh to hear, but like if you're like, oh, my friends will just let me know when they want to join, they're not going to let you know. I had friends joining that were in this business when I joined. I was joining with who was consistent and, you know, showing me they were going places. And so when you're posting, a couple things that you want to keep in mind. One, are your posts making people feel some type of way? A lot of people think that if you're new, I can't post like because I don't have a story. Yes, you do. People relate not through success, but through struggle. And so when I joined this business, I wasn't saying like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire. I was like, you guys, I've joined this business because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I would take a picture of me with my son and I would say, you know, I really am just struggling with the fact of having to leave him. And I'm so thankful that I found this online business to be able to make money from my phone. And I would always talk about where I'm going. Okay, this is so key. Every day, not once a week, not once a month. I talk every day about where I was going and why I was thankful for this business. I started sharing positive quotes. I was looking for things that would make people be like, wow, she's really making a difference. And I wasn't faking it. I was really doing the things. Like I really was going to YouTube in the morning, typing in the word motivation, writing a quote down and putting that on my Facebook. And people just started noticing like, wow, Jackie is making moves. You know, I got my first $30 paycheck and I was so thankful that put gas in my car. Right. And so every time that you're posting, I want you guys to think about, would this make you feel like you want to do what you're doing? And remembering that humans are selfish by nature. And so when you're posting, you need to be able to you need to know that whoever's reading that is extracting from it. What can this do for me? That's great and everything that Caitlin's here making, you know, all this money, but what can Caitlin do for me? That's what people are thinking. And so when Caitlin shares her struggle, when Caitlin shares, you know, what she's gone through and where she's going, people can relate to that. Another tip I want to give you guys is before we go on to Caitlin and Krista is truly consistency is going to be the biggest thing for signing distributors. People want to join this type of thing. Okay. If you're sitting there and saying nobody wants to join this, it's probably you because people do want to join this. And it's just, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I've had to tweak this before. Like it was me before when I wasn't enrolling, it was me because when I looked at other people, I was like, well, if they're enrolling, why not me? So, you know, I had to tweak something that I was doing. And so, you know, consistency is so important because when people look to join something like this, they're joining with somebody that they feel is going to be there to help them. They're joining with somebody that they have watched be consistent. They're joining with someone that they've watched show that they're about their business because they want to feel like when they come in, they have guidance. And so you creating vision for your business and where you're going is exactly what they need. When I've listened to this girl talk about how this business has allowed her to do all these like little small wins, but it was going to take her here, people don't need to see the action before they take, you know, leaps, right? Like a lot of, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things that go off vision, a lot of different perspectives that we could go into that go off vision, but vision is so important. And a lot of people will think like, well, I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. I don't want to say I'm going to go here and I'm not going to be there. Okay, when you join to go to university, you say I'm going to graduate in 4 years. You don't say, oh, I'm maybe going to graduate if I like all my ducks are in a row. No, you're graduating. And so you have to think about this business as the same. And I said, when I go Ruby, you know, this is how it's going to affect my life. When I go Diamond, and you know, people may have been watching on a clock, but they weren't, because eventually you're going to get there. And it doesn't matter if it takes you 3 months, 6 months, a year. If you do not give up, you will go Diamond and further. You know, the only key is people just, they either stop, start, or they just stop and then they never get there. But creating a vision for where you're going and why you joined every day, you guys, is going to be so impactful for your business. And one more tip before I pass it off is if you're looking for inspiration, follow other top leaders that you know are enrolling distributors and look at how they're posting. And just like Caitlin said earlier, use this as a skeleton for your post and edit it up and change it. Okay, Caitlin, is there anything you want to add to
that? You pretty much went over what I was going to talk about, but basically just kind of like piggybacking off what Jackie said, something that I did that signed so many people when I started is talking about the income that you're shooting for, just like Jackie said, but saying, I'm almost making this much already. Even if you're not actually making that much, by saying you're almost there, you're not lying. Because now by you continuously saying, I am almost at this point, like I'm working hard to make this much money, people are going to see that and be inspired and want in because they need that kind of money. So if you're like constantly every day talking about, I'm almost averaging $500 a month from my cell phone, like I'm almost making $500 a month from my phone, that's only Ruby. That's literally like your first promotion. Every single person on this Zoom is almost averaging 500 a month. You just need 3 distributors. So by you talking about that every single day, people are going to jump in because they need that $500 too. And now you are making $500 a month. So now up your goals, and now you're saying, okay, now I'm almost making $1,500 a month. Now I'm going Emerald. I'm almost averaging $1,200 a month. You might not be making that yet, but if you now switch and every day you're talking about, I'm almost making this much, now you're going to inspire more people that are also going to jump in, and you're going to keep growing. And by speaking these goals out every single day, they're going to happen because you talk about it so much that other people believe it, and you believe it yourself because you're putting it out there so much. So in no way is it lying unless you're saying you're already making that, and nobody's asking you to lie. Like, do not fake where you are. Talk about where you are, but speak into existence where you're going, and be so confident and excited in it that nobody doubts you for a second. They truly believe that's where you're going, and they want to come with you, and they will come with you.
And I just want to add one thing to what she said. It doesn't always have to be about financials too. Like, you don't always have to be every day like, I'm going to be Ruby, I'm going to be $500 a month. Like, I used to say, like, you guys, I'm thankful for this business because one day this is going to bring me home. And I didn't care how long it took me. And again, like, don't lie. Truly believe it. Like, I believe like that I'm going diamond. I believe that from the second I first understood Ruby. I know I'm going diamond. So I talk about it. You know you're going to graduate, so you talk about it. So don't, like I said, just keep that in mind. And it doesn't always have to be financial. You just want to project where you're going. And so that's why you have to get crystal clear on where you want to go. Krista, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, somebody had mentioned in the chat about the Marcachetta personality test, and I just want to touch on that briefly because actually that plays into a lot of how you post for distributors as well, and in your stories is really wanting to touch on those because people do have different personalities, right? And so we kind of have them down as like blue, green, yellow, and red. So as you do that, you'll kind of see what's yours, which is probably your kind of predisposition to post in that way because you obviously intuitively connect with yourself, right? So you're going to talk to yourself as an audience, but you want to reach all the different personalities of people. So like that's where like blue, you're going to talk about the friendships and the fun that you're having through this business, you know, that greens, they're going to care more about details and about a legacy. Like they're going to care more about like kind of what's in the future. Yellow is all about giving back. You know, they talk about our company is amazing and the opportunities to give back, and how we even get money taken off our checks every single month to help give back, but also the things that we're doing as a team and corporately, and sharing those things. Red, yeah, you want to talk about the money, you want to talk about the promotions, you want to talk about the bonuses coming. Those are going to attract all different types of people to you, right? And you want to be able to create that picture. So really like, again, it's that connecting with the emotion, but creating that picture of that emotion for the people that are viewing it, right? And telling that story. There's a reason why they call them stories, right? And so I would really encourage you as you're doing stories, it's great to be able to take slides and put, 3 slides about being a DT in your story, but you can't underestimate the power of sharing your face, talking and saying where you're going. You can take a 15-second video of yourself and say, oh my gosh, I just love that I found an online business I'm so excited for, or I'm so thankful for. Just challenge yourself to do even just a sentence or two, daily to get into your own stories, because the more that they see your face and they see you talking to them and connecting with them, the more they're getting to know, like, and trust you. And people are going to want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust and see showing up consistently. And that you're operating with that sense of integrity and that you're always saying the same things. So even when you're choosing a story slide, you guys, just make sure that you are choosing things that are consistent with who you are and that they reflect you. If you're like 1,000% like I'm a boss babe kind of person, then put up the boss babe ones. If you're not like me, like I put up a boss babe post and people be like, did somebody take over Krista's Instagram? What is that? What's going on over there? Right? Like I'm just not that person, right? So you want to operate from a place of integrity to who you are and the character that you want to reveal to people as who you're becoming and that you're inspiring in them. Because again, that integrity piece is going to encourage them to know that when they see something from you, they know it's from you. They know that it reflects your values, who you are, and they're going to know, like, and trust you.
I love that. And just another place for resources for you guys. So again, these are called lifestyle posts. Okay, so lifestyle posts are going to be what attract distributors to your team. We have a ton of examples on our team page. I've just collected them from like top leaders over time and like just put them in one spot. I've actually got a ton more to add. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to write that down in the next 2 days. I'm going to have more of these added in there. But under announcements, there's going to be message examples. So if go to Diamond Tribe, click announcements. If you scroll down, there's going to be like message example, post example. You're going to find lifestyle posts in here, and you're going to just get the hang. So I just had to really see what other people were doing, and I just got the hang of it, and eventually learned how to write my own. Okay, so is there any questions that we have on signing distributors? If anyone has a question, you can throw it in there. Let's go on to the next. I do want to say too, albums as well. There's actually a folder for stories on how to sign distributors and folders. And sorry, I want to give one more tip actually that I really feel has helped you guys. I message for distributors. Okay, part of this business is messaging, reaching out. Okay, posting is not asking. So I reach out to distributors, and it's so simple. Hey, I don't know if this interests you. I work from my phone, and if you're new, you can be like, I'm actually on one of the top teams globally from a work from home company. No pressure, but have you ever thought about working from your phone? And now here's the trick. Some people are going to say yes. Some people are going to say no. Okay. I know that whoever's team you're on, either mine, Caitlin's, or Krista's, we all have a potential distributor page you can be plugging your teams into. Okay. If you're on Caitlin's downline, you've got that from her. If you're on Caitlin's downline or Krista's downline, you've got that from her. You're on my downline, you've got that from me. A page where you can literally plug in people that are interested and, follow up with them, and they're just hearing an overview of the business. If you haven't seen it, watch that video yourself so you get an idea. But when I message for distributors, you guys, this is my thought process. I'm going to message people that are, ask them if they're interested. And they're either going to ignore me or ask for info or say no, but guess what they're going to do? They're going to look at my page. And I know that when they start looking at my page, they're going to see me being consistent. It was crazy when we were in Sun Peaks for our diamond retreat. Whenever Amber showed us how to do that, when we were walking in, remember when we were walking to those stores and like blitzing people? I blitzed. I talked to this girl in person. I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, now that I know this girl's going to be looking at my page, I have to have a good distributor story up. Like I have to be active and so she knows what I do, And then I caught myself and I was like, dude, we have to do that all the time. Like that's literally like what we do. So good life lesson. Okay. One more tip, go to YouTube, type in how to sign distributors. I know I have a ton of YouTubes on it. If you follow and subscribe to me, Krista, and Caitlin on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of trainings. Jade Hooper is really helpful. You guys, this is how I learned the things. Okay, so just plug into YouTube. Okay, next topic we're going to go into real quick is, I wish I knew it because then I would just tell you here and I closed our conversation, is, okay, what to be doing on social media every day. Okay, this is important. Write this down. We're going to go over it. I'm just going to say it, and then we're going to each touch on something. Every day on social media. Everyone got a pen and paper. Some in your notes. Take this down. I promise you. This will be something that if you implement this for 90 days, just say, I'm going to do this regardless of if how I feel. The consistency of all of these things together is what will bring you results. So number one, we're posting, okay, on our timeline and on our stories. What are we posting? Every day I talk about a product. Every day I talk about an opportunity. I put up a lifestyle post, but I'm also incorporating in my newsfeed and my stories other things throughout the day because I don't want to just spam it works. People are not interested in seeing that. Every day I reach out to people. I have new conversations, whether that's host to post, whether that's messaging to be a product model, messaging to be a distributor. I'm talking to new people every day. We have message examples under the announcements thread. Every day I grow my network. Every day I go through my follow-ups. The fortune is in the follow-up. I heard it takes an average of 7 to 21 times for someone to believe they want something or want to join you. Following up is very important. And every day I grow my mind at some point. I'm personal development, audiobook, YouTube. So do we want to go in a little bit more in depth? Maybe Krista, if you want to start, what are things that you do every day that you feel contribute to the success that you have?
So, am I muted? Okay. I was like, am I muted? Sorry. So exactly what you just said, Jackie, but consistently. And I actually set alarms in my phone. So I have depending on the day, 8 to 10 alarms that go off, and it will make you jump out of your skin. So I have one left today, but see all these alarms that have gone off in my day already. These are all alarms I set on my phone, okay? Because if you've ever been busy and you're like, it's 8:00 and in 15 minutes I'm gonna get my list done, and then all of a sudden you're like, it's 2:00, where did today go? Okay, that is just life, and that is always gonna happen. And so I get my calendar every night and I look, because also, like, you'll realize, like, systems are great, but they only work if they serve you, right? So my life is different every single day. And so what I know is, like, whether I have meetings scheduled or I have a doctor's appointment or whatever I have my schedule, and I go through it the night before, and I choose, and I just put a star where the time slots are that I'm doing my list. Okay. And for me personally, I'm like, again, I said, like, 8 to 10 times a day I'm doing my list, right? So I set those alarms. So I choose the spots, and then I adjust my alarms in my phone the night before. So they're all set up and ready to go. Okay. So that's just like part of my daily routine. End of the night, I set up the alarms and I'm ready for the next day. So I know that, like, 6 a.m., depending on the day, 5:30 or 6, my alarm is going off. I'm rolling out of bed and I'm doing my personal development. So, like, personal development has to be my first 5 minutes of the day, has to be in that time zone, because that dictates how the rest of my day goes. And so I give myself between 30 to 60 minutes for personal development, and I'm super serious about it. Because literally it shapes who you're becoming, and that 1% adds up. And 1 + 1 is only 2. But like I said, 365 days of it, and you're like, oh, wow. When it's funny, because when I talked about prejudging people that you see on your timeline and assuming that you know something about them, if you looked back at my timeline 3 years ago, you'd be like, oh, that girl, I'm not messaging her to be a distributor. Her pictures are blurry. She's never on here and whatever, right? And so, like, you just don't know. So personal development is huge. So I do that first thing. And then every time there's an alarm, I'm doing that list. And that's growing my network. I hop into Facebook, and I'm really strategic about this. I do it in order, and I grow my network right away. So I add friends on Facebook, and then I hop over to Instagram and I follow on Instagram, and then I message. I do messaging and interacting at the same time. So I like 3 to 5 of their pictures, and then I send them a message. And then I like 3 to 5 of the next person's, and I send 15 of those. And then I move on to my follow-up. So then I check who's messaged me back. I check on all that, like, follow up on my list, and I write down anybody who's messaged me back, so I keep current. Then I'm allowed to tell my story. Because guess what you're going to find is, as you're doing this, and this only takes like 10 minutes at a time, you guys. So this is the thing. You're going to find that as you do your list of activities, that there's going to be things that are more comfortable or easier for you to do. And what I've found with my team and personally is that I've realized that I'm much more comfortable putting up a post on Facebook, because nobody says no to me. I just put up my post, and making creative story slides on stories is kind of fun, or it's easy because I can just put up a couple of slides and check, but without the messaging component, I'm not knocking on the doors. I'm not going and saying to all the people in my strip mall, all the people in my sphere of influence, I'm not saying, hey, look at me, by the way, remember I'm open for business over here. If I don't do that, the other stuff is just sitting there, and I'm like, oh yeah, how am I gonna pay the electric bill this month, right? So all that, so that's why I put it in that order, and it's super important for me, but that's what I do.
Okay, I love that. Caitlin, what about you? I'm just putting this in the chat, sorry, so I'm not looking at you.
Okay, so I think the only thing we haven't really touched on that I would like also contribute to like getting to where we are is honestly building relationships with your team. Like, when you sign a distributor, don't just look at it as like that's somebody you signed, now they're supposed to go do their work and you'll get to where you want to go because they're working, right? Because that's not going to happen. I honestly think that part of the reason that we are so successful in this business is because, like, I have the best relationship with the people on my team. Like, every single day I'm talking to people on my team, like, just asking them how they're doing, like, whether it's through the business or personal as well. Like, I know so much about, like, my distributors' lives. Like, we'll do power hours, or we'll just, like, get on Zoom and work, or we'll go over their charts, and, like, I'll let them talk to me about life. Like, I literally love my team to death, would do anything for the people on my team. And it honestly is a big thing in forming relationships and just being that support person for them, because a lot of times, especially when they're new, they don't know what they're doing. But even when they do, and like they're trained, like they can work their business, they still want that connection, because you're going to inspire them, you're going to motivate them, and like work together, and they're going to feed off of your energy. And so it honestly is important just to show that, even if it's just like showing yourself working and being active in a team chat with them, just showing that like you're there, you're working. If they have questions, like you're available, just whatever it is. But just like, do not look at your team as like you need them to work for your paycheck. Like, honestly, be a team and work as a team, because it really does change a lot.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And one thing I also wanted to add that I feel like it's a really big part of this that we kind of like brushed over, but you guys, growing your network is so big in this. Social media, like if you're using social media as your platform, if you have 200 friends right now, like you got to expand that if you want your business to grow, right? Like it's unrealistic to be like, I want to go diamond, but I'm only going to circle around the same 200 friends, because they're either going to buy from you, not buy from you, or not be ready to buy from you. And so every day, you guys, and this is one of those things, just like Krista said, it doesn't sometimes feel like it's a 300% upgrade from the day that you do this, but 1% every day, you just consistently growing your network. Maybe 3 people add you the first day, maybe 10 people add you back the next day. But, over the course of a year, and I know that's like, well, I just started. A year is a long time, but a year is going to go by anyways. And growing your network is just such an easy little thing to do, where it's like, that's how I would say 95% of my business is due to me growing my network. Like, it's so crazy when you think about the compound effect it has. So we won't go into it tonight, but if you go onto YouTube, or if you have new distributors, I have a video. It's like a 9-minute video. If you just type in on YouTube, Grow Network Jackie Deering, it's like 9 minutes, and it just goes over how we do it. This is a huge part of your everyday, you guys. Okay, so the last thing that we have, maybe we'll just have one more like little end session here. Closing point. I know we're over an hour, and I try to keep these in an hour. Sorry. If you can give one tip, we'll each just share one tip for someone that's new, or just maybe is like, needing just a little, a little like word of love or word of encouragement. What would Krista? What would you say?
The only way that you are going to fail at this is if you quit.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the biggest revelation that you can really ultimately have. If you think, the next thing, if you think of it like a gym membership, and you think that, if you show up at the gym and, you've got a trainer there, you got a coach there who's like, hey, just get on this treadmill for 30 minutes, and then you're going to do this. Here's the workouts I plan for you. That's your list, right? But you show up and you do those. You're not going to see the results right away in a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. And you're like, whoa, transformation, right? And it's that steady, continual progression. And it's the same thing, like, okay, maybe you bought the membership and then you didn't show up to the gym, or you were super inconsistent. Are you going to have the same results as that person that was consistent and showed up every day and did their workout and tracked what they were eating and how much water they were consuming and all those things? No, you're not, obviously, right? And it's the same thing, like, you can't also just go to the gym and hang out beside your friend on the treadmill and talk to her and text Sally while you're there. And that's kind of the same thing as like maybe just hanging out in the chats all day, or being on a Zoom but not actually doing the messaging. It's that kind of idea. If you think, okay, I'm not actually going to get the results if I'm just hanging out with my girlfriend at the gym, I actually have to get on the treadmill myself and do the work, right? So I would just encourage you, literally the only way that you cannot be successful at this, like, it's just statistics, like it's 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. If you do this over time, you will be successful. And just commit and say, I'm going to do this. This is who I am. And you know what? Be proud, be excited, get to know the industry and why it's so freaking amazing. And just embrace it and let go of being afraid. Honestly, again, I'm just going to tell you, you got to read this book. Okay. 3 Feet from Gold is so good, but this will help you a lot as a new distributor to get that mindset and to really just wrap your mind around that. So that is what I would leave you with. Like, there's there's enough success for everyone. It's not like, okay, well, Jackie and Caitlin and Krista got all the success, so there's none left for me. And it's not like, okay, well, well, they're in their 20s and pretty, and so that's why they're successful, because we're not in our 20s. But anyway, but like, it is for anybody. It is literally for anybody. And you have to show up and be committed to doing the work. And if you feel like, okay, there's something, maybe there's an obstacle, maybe there's something where you're feeling like, how am I going to get past that? That's what you need to reach out ASAP to your enroller and just be honest about and say, hey, here's where I'm struggling, or here's where I feel like the biggest thing is for me right now. What would you recommend? And if they don't have a book for you, tell them to reach out to an upline and get help getting a book. One of us can recommend something, but honestly, so much of what you're struggling with or what you're facing or what your challenges are can literally be grown through in a book or 10. Okay. So like, seriously. Caitlin, take it away.
Take it away, girl.
All right. So for me, kind of piggybacking off what Krista said, how if you stay consistent, you will be successful. And the tip I'll leave with you guys of like what I do kind of about that. But like, if I ever feel like I am having a day where I'm like, I don't feel like doing this, like, why am I doing this? Like all those negative thoughts that everybody knows they get sometimes. What I will do is I literally grab a piece of paper and I'll write out my dream income, like what I want to be making, and then write out into detail, what does your life with that income look like? Like what is your family going to get to do? What do you get to do in life if you get to that point? Like when you get to your goal, because you're being consistent, where are you going to get to go? What are you going to get to do? What is that money going to do for you? Are you going to get to quit your job or maybe retire your husband? Like go into such detail, like what is your life going to look like? And then when you're feeling all emotions about that, then flip it and now write out what is going to happen if you don't work your business. If you stop right now and you lose this income and you stuck wherever you were before this, now what's going to happen? What is not having that money going to look like? Now where are you going to be going? What's going to happen? Are you going to go find another job? Are you going to go back to a second or third job and like doing all these things to make up the income? Like write out both stories, the highs and the lows. And after going through it, then decide, am I going to work my business today or not? And there's a 99.9% chance you're going to go work your business.
Dude, I love that you said that. I love that you said that, like writing out a list of the pros and cons. Like, okay, if I give up, where am I going? Right back to where I didn't want to be before. If I keep trucking through, what happens? I'm going to be one step further in front of, and it's crazy because when you look at like what's the saying? It's like the days are long, but the months are short or something like that. And it's truly how it feels in this business. Like every day it feels like it's just like, oh my gosh, I did all these things today and I didn't see results from it. So I'm just going to stop and go back to right where I am. But it's like, if you literally just keep pushing through and give yourself 90 days, give yourself 90 days of just doing the things and see where it takes you. Like, what's the worst thing that happens, And you know what? It is going to be uncomfortable. And this is what I'm going to leave you guys with. This new life that you guys want, give yourself a year. Good point. Give yourself a year. That year is going to go by anyway. If you guys are here, it's because you're not happy with something in your life. Right? Like people don't just join these things because they're like, oh my gosh, I have all this like money and freedom and I just want to like join this business. No, people join because they're not happy with the amount of money they have in their bank account, the freedom that they have, the time they see their family, the choices that they're able to make. Like that's what it boils down to. And so I urge you to find out what that is for yourself. And then, just realize that nothing will change if nothing changes and get excited about this. Stop looking for reasons why this isn't going to work, okay? I promise you, if you look for problems, you will find them in anything. Business, relationship, right here. I'm just joking. But like, if you look for problems, you're going to find them, okay? I always find them. If you look for solutions, you're going to find them. If you look for a way around and not a way out, you're going to find it. And I promise you, the people that, what's the saying? I'm going to always quote sayings, but the person that hit the most home runs struck out the most. And so don't take a feeling of failure. I'll be right upstairs. Don't take a feeling of failure like defeat. Look for a way around this. Be solution-minded. Be positive. Like decide that you're just not going to be who you don't like, what you don't like. And understand that if somebody else can have it, you can have it. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what your background. I don't care what story you're telling yourself. You've got this. And every new level in this business, you're going to have a new devil. Like, you're going to have that first struggle of like wanting to quit and then getting through that. And then you're going to go Ruby and then something's going to happen. And like, that's life. That's life. With or without this business, that is life. And I promise you that if I've learned anything in these 3 years, it's when life happens, it is a blessing to be able to have something like this to fall back on. Almost got emotional saying that, but seriously. And so decide you guys are worth it. You guys got one of the best teams in the company. We're here for you. Krista, Caitlin, myself, we're here for you. And just know that what's coming at the end of the month is going to blow your mind. The bonuses that they got available, the stuff that's coming, you guys, the seeds that you plant right now truly will be what you harvest then. And so don't think that you're above the law of network marketing. If you don't plant the seeds, you're not harvesting the fruit. So go plant the seeds. And if you have help, if you need help, reach out. Okay, we'll start implementing these power hours again. What do we say? Tomorrow? What do you say? Tomorrow morning? I miss you guys in the morning. Okay. It's been a weird, I'm like, what day is it? Okay, let's do a power hour tomorrow. Let's agree right now. Let's do, what day is it tomorrow? Wednesday. Let's do 8 a.m. Pacific. Does that work? I see like a couple yes, no's. Okay, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This Zoom. What time in Aussie? I don't know, but what I cannot wait for is Caitlin to try and figure out time zones when she goes to Australia. That's going to be brutal. Caitlin's going to be like, what year is it? Is it like 2021? I don't know. No, it'll be awesome. Okay, so 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 Eastern Time, Australian time in the future. We're not sure, okay? We don't even know what time zone you guys are in. But we love you guys. We'll be there tomorrow. We'll get some music on, personal development. Come with your questions. Come with your whatever. Just come with yourself and we'll have fun. And we love you guys and appreciate you so much. And we're just thankful you guys joined us tonight. So, whew, oh my gosh, I got all emotional at the end there. Maybe because Caitlin's leaving. Okay.
Don't talk about it.
I'm like, now I have to wake up at 2 in the morning to talk to you. It's weird.
Oh my God.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea.
I think at like 10 o'clock at night, it's like 9 a.m. or something there. Like, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
I think I did the math and like our team Zooms at 7 your time are like 4 a.m. there. So,
dude, the Australian, there's an Australian, I know there's Kylie, right?
It's 2:23 p.m. right now in Australia.
it's what time?
2:23 in the afternoon.
But is it the 15th or the 13th?
Oh.
What's the date?
I have no idea.
But you said it's Wednesday, so it's
the 15th. So it's Wednesday
what?
today.
I feel like you live on a different planet.
It's Wednesday. Caitlin, it's 2021 there. Okay, already a year ahead. You cross that international date line, it's all over. I'm just kidding, you guys. I know it's not 2021.
This business too. All right. This is still recording. I hope nobody watches this till the end if they're on YouTube. They'll be like, all right. Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow. What do we say? 8 a.m., right? 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, the 16th.
Figure out the rest.
I think that might be like 11 o'clock tonight. So.
Okay.
What? That is so weird. You're still going to be up while we go to bed? Okay, anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, stressing me out. Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Okay, bye, guys.